it's a gene mutation in that their bodies aren't effective at detoxing the contaminants, heavy metals in the vaccines, so they're just always going to be prone. And I think you said earlier, Emily, about the objections being no longer applicable, which is just madness. In that people have solid, doctors' opinions and advice not to vaccinate, and they're still not eligible for these payments. So I just can't see how that's morally right.
Yeah. And it's not one size fits all for anything out there at all. So why should it be one size fits all for something as toxic as a vaccination?
Yeah, it's so hard to get exemptions for medical reasons. Like, you have to have a really severe reaction, like a life-threatening reaction.
As a result of,
to get an exemption. Yeah.
And then I believe you still only get that exemption for that specific vaccine, which there are so many vaccines, all of very similar toxic makeup. A lot of them have the same ingredients that you're more than likely to react to all the vaccines.
That's a good point.
Whereas, they're just making it so hard.
Vaccine injury is very real as well. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who do know someone who's vaccine injured or whose child is vaccine injured. I certainly do. And that only solidified my already made up mind that I wasn't going to vaccinate, because you can see how devastating it is for the families and the individuals who are having to deal with neurological damage and other massive side effects of vaccine injury. Yeah, it's very real. There's a lot of it out there. Yeah,
I find it crazy that some parents do believe that their children were horribly vaccine injured, and they still say that they're pro-vaccine and they're still vaccinating, and they say that it's better than the children experiencing the disease, the vaccine preventable diseases, quotation marks, whereas when you actually look at the diseases that we vaccinate for, they're rare. It's rare that they actually do cause damage to people. Yeah. It's like the minor exception that they're damaging. Like, often they're a lot of them, then they're asymptomatic. So it's just madness.
And a lot of them, like chickenpox and measles, you're naturally supposed to get them as your development. So it actually builds up your immunity, so you don't get. I don't know, is it like cancer or something as well?
There's been a study that's found that cancer's higher amongst those who weren't naturally exposed to the chickenpox and measles.
That sounds right.
And then for boys as well, in particular, if they don't get the measles, and as a grown adult, if they get the adult version of that, which is the shingles, that can be more damaging. And also, once children have actually had chickenpox, measles, those types of sicknesses, their bodies go through a huge developmental leap. Whereas if you're having something in your body that's suppressing that, then you're not allowing the body to naturally do what it needs to do.
And natural immunity is pretty much always lifelong immunity as well, whereas vaccine immunity, they used to think it was lifelong when it worked, or when they assumed it worked, but they're finding more and more recently that it's less and less long-lasting. I think current estimates for vaccine immunities like 2 to 10 years, which is Yeah, which is why we're seeing even more vaccines, more boosters, even larger vaccine schedule, and consequently more problems and more reactions.
Creating more problems for ourselves.
Yeah, but at the same time, because they're selling more vaccines because of it, so it's like lose-lose for us and win-win for them. Like they're rewarded for making inferior products, ineffectual products. So.
And I don't know about you guys, but every time I see an image of a child being held down with a needle being thrusted into their arm,
can't watch that.
It gives me it just brings up so much. I don't even know what to call it. It makes me feel angry that these poor little kids who don't have the choice are being, they're screaming, they're crying. Don't do that to them. It just makes me want to pick them up and give them a hug and go and
where's the kids' choice in all of this? Our jobs as parents is to protect them.
And I've seen some stuff online with kids being, recorded in a situation where they're being vaccinated and they're being held down and they're screaming, no.
Yeah, their instincts are totally against it.
Yeah, they're totally against it. And, the body never lies.
Yeah.
And, you've got to trust that.
Yeah.
In regards to the natural immunity as well, if a mother has actual natural immunity to a disease, like she's actually had the virus herself and gotten the immunity that way, and then she breastfeeds her baby, that a lot more antibodies and things go through her breast milk than if she had a vaccination. So I'm also wondering, what are we doing for our future generations? Are we cutting off this natural immunity supply to them as well?
Have you guys seen recently there's been some articles and possibly even studies where they're trying to sway people away from breastfeeding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is madness.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother massive topic, isn't it?
You know, if you're looking... Yeah, I mean... I'm still breastfeeding my 2-year-old, and
my partner is too.
And I'll keep doing it until I'll keep doing it until I feel the time is right, when we you know, kind of organically happens where we just stop. But I see that as it's part of his immunity as well. He's as well as having a good diet, lots of fresh air, getting out in nature. Probiotics, just
extra nutrients,
giving him the good stuff, and trying to limit, he doesn't eat junk food, he doesn't eat sugar, well, he'll have trace amounts, but just keeping him healthy that way. There are other ways to keep your child healthy other than what a lot of people think is, give them a vaccine and they'll be healthy, but no, there's actually there's other
there's alternatives.
There's natural ways out there, and
with no risks.
With no risks. And like I said earlier, I've chosen homeoprophylaxis for Finley, for my little one, but only for whooping cough. I think that was the only one I chose, because I didn't see the others as being that much of a massive risk for him, but that one I chose. It's
interesting as well. I don't know if you notice it while you're breastfeeding or while your partner's breastfeeding, Tom, but there's a lot of, I don't know what exactly to call it, I don't know if it's stigma or judgment, or a lot of people see like breastfeeding toddlers and older kids as just like not natural or not normal. But if you look at the kid and the way they approach it, they haven't been indoctrinated with all these. They haven't been conditioned to think that, and they just go like they're normal. They just naturally go and breastfeed. They don't think anything about it. Like, do you know what I mean?
And it's the best thing is it's free too.
Yeah.
I think is the global average for breastfeeding. I think it's about 5 years. from what I've heard.
Yep.
Which, it's obviously not that in Australia, but
yeah, it depends what country you're in.
Yeah,
You go to some other countries and children are breastfed up until, as you say, like, was it 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah.
Or older. They'd have to be older because we only breastfeed most people until like 1 or 6 months.
Yeah, I think is there also, I think there's benefits mentally as well for the mums themselves in forming attachment.
Yeah, oxytocin and all of those.
Which is like good for, mental health and
happy
it's
hormone.
not really talked about.
Yeah, does it help against like PND and stuff as well?
Yeah, which is seems to be like a more common problem recently.
I don't know if it's because more people are talking about it or because it's the link to the breastfeeding. That's interesting.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that a group put out, I don't know if it was a study or a recommendation, but they wanted people to stop using the term natural because it
I did see
makes people think that natural is better and also makes breastfeeding more common or more accepted, and they were against that for for some reason.
Yeah. Is this also in relation to vaccinations as well? Like if people think that natural is normal, then they're less likely to want to vaccinate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's very unnatural.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite. Me and my partner, we're sort of big believers in raising our daughter naturally. It's a pretty broad term, but and it's worked really well for us. Like our daughter's like super healthy and happy. So like I'm not gonna change that just because a bunch of politicians are trying to discredit my own views. I can see the evidence with my own eyes, and like friends and family who do vaccinate. It's usually pretty obvious. Like the children have more health issues, more common health issues.
Speech delays as well.
Yeah.
That's something I've noticed.
Yeah, and there's heaps of studies that show that as well, but they're not talked about because our media is privately owned, so thank God for the internet, I guess, in that, it's giving people like us access to these things and access to people who know these things and can share these things. I'm wondering if that's like the real reason for like the anti-vaccination movement becoming more, or one of the reasons why it's becoming more a bigger movement is just simply that people have access to more information now and better connected and able to actually like look into the things that we're being told by doctors and governments and I'm wondering.
It's like a platform for us to connect on and communicate.
And if you're forcing people to do something that they don't want to do, they're going to come together in another form and speak up. And, try and do something about this, because it's, we all need the feeling of being accepted in our... We all want the feeling of being accepted in our community.
Yeah.
And for our children to be part of that. And these laws are definitely dividing the community and putting us into... trying to like stuff us in the corner and keep us out of the way and keep us quiet, or force us to do something that we don't want to do.
Stuff us all in a box and label the box.
Yeah, personally I'm pretty outspoken against vaccines amongst friends and family, and it's been hard because you get a couple lot of flack and sort of abuse in a way, but at the same time I'm really glad that I have spoken out against it, because pretty much all the new mums that I'm friends with that have